Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are taking our very first look at the new legendary tier American battleship, the Blue Archive Montana. And let's take a look at our commander. We're using Takanashi Hoshino, the brand new Blue Archive commander. And I'm not sure which is more spicy, the ship itself or the commander. So let's get into it. Takanashi Hoshino, and we are running Palo de Revel and Colorado. Azure Lane, Colorado as our inspirations. Can you get an idea of why I'm using this yet? All right, let's go over it. We're running Flammable Cannoneer, but we don't have gyrating drill bits. We do have Dance with Death. Dance with Death reduces the torpedo launcher main battery reload time per 1% hit points lost, which is pretty spicy. Okay. Then we've got Megalomania because we're French now, which gives you a battleship main battery reload time of minus 7.5% and gives you a battleship detectability time after firing reduction of 18.75%. Which is pretty spicy. And then, all of that for a minus 5% hit points. I'm fine with that. And then, just because you thought that the minus 5% hit points was a problem, you also get Master Mechanic, which gives you 2 repair party charges. And an 8% boost to your amount of hit points recovered using said repair parties. Oh, but don't worry, it doesn't stop there. They also give you fully packed, which if you don't understand what that means that you get an extra consumable as well, as a better cooldown time for all of your consumables. What I'm saying is this is now the spicy Montana. They just made Montana completely obsolete with this one thing. Now, you could put this build on the regular Montana if you don't get the Blue Archive Montana. But still, this is spicy. Now, you could swap out Master Mechanic for this if you want. I don't think that's what most people will be trying. Just because Master Mechanic gives you 2 extra heals, plus you get an extra heal, meaning you get 6 heals. 6! You're an Italian battleship. With accuracy, nasty American armor piercing, and French reload. Where do they come up with these balances? All right, let's look at the ship. Surely there's something in the ship that's going to balance out the fact that this thing is completely spicy. I've played 2 matches. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I've played 2 matches in this ship, and I have already completely dominated both matches. The first match was a loss, unfortunately, but the second match was not. We are running the AA module in first slot. Shocker. It's what you should be running in American battleships. Sorry. And then we're running steering gears, which now becomes even better because you have something special with this ship. You do not need propulsion mod on your BA Montana because it comes with a speed boost, an engine boost. Yeah, you heard that right. So it's got everything. It literally has it all. The only thing it's missing is defensive AA. Why not throw that in there? But and they almost did. Shocker. But concealment mod. And of course, we are running the epic artillery plotting room mod 2. Obviously, you want to run artillery plotting room, get a little bit more accuracy, but running the epic module allows us for every 30,000 damage to increase our accuracy up to 10%. Or up to 20%, sorry. Starts at 10%. Anyway, yeah, it's way spicy. All right, let's get into loadout. Why is this? Okay, 6 heals, 4 secondary boosters. You could run an Arthas build where you throw Arthas on there and have 6 freaking planes, but it's not really worth that. The secondary targeter comes in handy occasionally, although when you see the match that we're about to have, you'll know that it's still useless. Engine boost, though, 8% maximum speed boost with a 120-second duration, a reload time of 117 seconds, and because we're running fully packed, we get 3 of them. Yes. Balance. in its finest. Italian Unity flag, because if you squint just right, kind of looks like a Spartan helmet. And then, of course, the blue Archive Montana camo that comes with the ship. Survivability with this build is a paltry 91,480 hit points. For a legendary tier battleship, not crazy, but again, 6 heals. 37% torp damage reduction. We have 406mm Mark 7 main guns, 12 of them, of course. Firing range with this build is only 18.2 kilometers, so you're going to have to get up close and personal. Reload time, 22.6 seconds, and that ain't running Azure Lane, Colorado, and only getting 22.6 seconds every third shot. No. That is stock, or that is with this build all the time, every shot, 22.6 seconds. That is crazy. That is crazy. 180-degree turn time, 45 seconds, so the turrets are extremely slow. You'll just have to get over it, because that's the only limiting factor of this ship. HE shell maximum damage 5,400 with a 36% chance to set fires. AP shell maximum damage 13,900. So a little bit lower alpha damage, I believe, than the regular Montana. Just to make sure that I'm not saying that out my butt, let's just double check. Yeah, a little bit lower. But I had to check. I want to make sure I was on the right page. All right. Secondaries, you get 127mm Mark 41s. You get 20 of those, reaching out to 6 kilometers, reloading every 4 seconds, which is pretty spicy for American secondaries. And then HE shell maximum damage of 1,800 with a 9% chance to set fires, which again is pretty spicy for American shells. Or secondaries, anyway. AA defense, you have 20mm Orlik Mark 4s. You get 20 of those, doing 72 damage per second, but only reaching out to 2.4 kilometers. Then you have the 20mm Orlik Mark 20s, where you have 40 of them, doing 122 damage per second, but again, only reaching out to 2.4 kilometers. Then you have the 40mm Bofors Mark II. You get 40 of the, you get 80 of those, doing 318 damage per second, reaching out to 4.2 kilometers. And then you have the 127mm Mark 41 dual-purpose secondaries. You've got 20 of those doing 157 damage per second, reaching out to 6.2 kilometers. Maneuverability, 30 knots maximum speed without the engine boost running. A 950-meter turning circle, which you're used to with the Montana. And then the rudder shift time is 13.9 seconds. For now. As you lose hit points, that gets slightly better. Detectability range by sea is 13.5 kilometers. Pretty standard. Detectability by air is 11.4 kilometers. Guaranteed is always 2, and then the detectability while firing and smoke is 15.2 kilometers. Statistics. Again, only played 2 games, so take it with a grain of salt. However, 2 games, 50% win rate, 41% main gun accuracy, and an average damage of 188,000. Average XP of 3,000. Potential average against us, 1.4 million. So, yeah. Not bad. Armor-wise, it's everything you come to know and love out of a Montana. There's a little bit of weird armor here at the front. I think that is actually not weird armor. That is just part of the camo. But, yeah, it's just part of the camo. It's just freaking me out. But 32mm bow, as you'd come to know and love. Montana, Musashi, or not Montana, Yama and Musashi are the only things that overmatch you. Use the belt effectively, and you will make people look stupid. What do I mean? Well, let's look at the belt. Once again, it's got one of the best belts in the game. It is a Montana. So 457mm armor belt that extends a good chunk of the side of the ship. So if you angle that effectively, nothing's getting through. So be careful. But angle effectively. Don't just go broadside and get yeeted, okay? Obviously, if you're shooting at this thing and it's angled, aim high. Try to go up for the upper side plating, superstructure, and deck. You'll get a much better result, usually. But even that is still 38mm thick. So nothing overmatches that. If it's angled effectively, you can absolutely make Yamas look silly. Which I do a lot in Montana. But yeah, otherwise you have a Citadel. It's kind of hard to see here because it's at the waterline, and the camo kind of conceals it here with the thing. But it is slightly raised above the waterline, so any turns that you make whatsoever are probably going to get you citadeled if somebody's hitting you at the same time. So keep that in mind. It is a Montana. We know that it can be easily taken out if it's played poorly. So again, learn to angle effectively. Overview. Full ahead, equipped or can be equipped with an engine boost. Guns aplenty. High number of guns allows for a lot of damage from a single salvo. And tough, above average base hit point rating. The BA Montana. This ship's design is inspired by Takanashi Hoshino from Blue Archive, a laid-back and playful yet courageous student at Abydos High School. Alright, I feel uncomfortable talking about high school students in such a way. Just saying. Wargaming, like, when does it stop? Like, I get it, there's like anime out there, there's whatever, but come on, man. This one even says they're in high school, so there's no difference where you're like, oh, they're technically 400 years old, they just look like they're in their teens. No, there's none of that. They say they're in high school. And yet anyway, that's a rant. I do like the camo. I know it's what some people might call like gaudy. I can imagine oh, I like the little 5 up there in the top. I ain't gonna lie, the 5 for the 5 years. Is it gonna do it? It isn't gonna do it. Anyway, saw it for a moment. Anyway, I like it. It's different. I don't like the German flag being on my American battleship, but it kind of looks like the German flag anyway. But anyway, it's a good looking. It's the Montana. I'm gonna enjoy it. It doesn't matter. And they made it even spicier by giving it all the things. So I mean, it is just absurdly spicy. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. Like, it is a fantastic ship. It is absolutely capable of just dominating out there. So with all of that being said, let's get to our gameplay. Alrighty, so we're going to be on Islands of Ice. And we are in the brand new Blue Archive, Montana. I don't know what else to say about this thing that I haven't already said, but can we just talk about the ray tracing real quick? I mean, we don't get to see much from the sun in this one, but look at the water effects. Like, everything looked a little bit crisp, a little bit more crisp. Look at the reflection in the water. I'm telling you, you guys forget about that, because I didn't. But either way, I can't wait to get on something like Land of Fire or something to see what the ray tracing looks like on that map. But either way, we're gonna do something that I wouldn't normally do in an American Montana, and that is go in front of the island that I spawned next to at the beginning of this match. But I thought, well, we got an engine boost, right? That's gonna help. We have the fact that my match only includes a singular destroyer. So what are the odds that this ends poorly for me, right? Like, I'm thinking, okay, engine boost, only a single destroyer. I should be able to put myself in a decent enough position to keep myself from getting yeeted. This spawn location, though, is the worst for any battleship, Captain. Period. And it's the same thing on the other side. You spawn right next to a giant island that hems you in. If you go forward and try to go in front of the island, you will be punished severely. If you try to reverse and turn around, then it takes forever to get behind your side. It's a whole problem, right? So I just took the gamble. I'm like, okay, with the engine boost, maybe I make it. Nope, destroyer gets me spotted. Shocker. Who could have seen that coming? And queue up everybody in the lobby getting ready to take a shot at me. We take a shot at their Montana. I'm already turning away. You can see I am begging for this thing to, like, turn. I'm like, please, 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 please. Okay, we're okay, we're okay. We're not okay! Ouch! We're still not okay. Wait for it. A couple more shells should be coming. Maybe not. Okay, well, I thought we had a couple more shells, but we've already... Ouch, there they are. I knew they were coming. That was the Montana again. But Mino has lost all of his hit points at the beginning. Or most of them, anyway. Shocker. We are in a good position to help the right flank and try to push up this side. Our Delaware is going to play like an absolute potato. But what's shocking about that? Now, Yama here is begging for it. We're going to go ahead and aim high again. We don't want to aim waterline. We want to aim high. Get these shells coming down through the upper side plating. And we are going to absolutely citadel it. Chunking him in our first first real damage shot, 28,000 damage. So, not too shabby. And then, because we have a fast reload, wait for it, there's another person about to get spotted any moment. Hey, look, it's the Schroeder! Hello, Schroeder. How are you? Oh, yes, that's the turn you definitely want to make when you see two American battleships staring at your broadside. Just open it up a little further as we slap his broadside, and suddenly we're at 59,000 damage. Doesn't take very long to stack up damage when you got a 22-second reload to Montana. Just saying. Like, this isn't like Azure Lane, Colorado, where every third salvo you get a fast reload. This is every single time you reload, fast reload. And it gets faster throughout the course of the battle as you stack up damage. Or as you get damaged. Sorry. It's kind of crazy. I don't know why they thought this was balanced, but I know what I've already heard from people from the dev team and stuff, and then that was like, but it's got slow traverse speeds and it's got worse dispersion or worse grouping than the Montana. But it's American, so it gets mostly horizontal dispersion, which we can all agree as battleship captains is the best kind of dispersion, right? Like, nobody is of the... Oh, hello. Oh, wait. Come on, spot him again. There we go. Hello, Montana. Speaking of Montana, again, aim high. Don't aim for the belt. He's angled to us, right? We don't want to hit that belt. We want to aim high. We get the shot off, and this is the worst shot that we're going to take the entire game, right? We only get one hit, but it's a Citadel. You gotta love it, man. I'm telling you. It's a spicy meatball. 6 heals, American AA, French engine boost, French megalomania, Italian, like, where's the downside? There isn't one. There really isn't. There is no downside. If you play this thing like you have a brain cell, you're gonna have a good time. And the commander is spicy too, so even if you don't get the ship, if you have the commander's gonna be pretty spicy for you as well. Meaning your regular Montana can be pretty spicy. Oh, but don't worry. We've got a beautiful look at the Schroeder. We're gonna go ahead and take a shot over the top of his ship. He looks like he's gonna continue that turn off to the left. We can slap a superstructure, take him out. Right? Wrong. One hit. That, I mean, clearly it's a terrible ship. Nobody should ever buy it. It's an awful ship. Look at it. I mean, we've back-to-back salvos only hit a singular shell. I mean, how could we? It's such a bad idea. Now, I look over and Mino pulls out. Like, you'd think that if you lose all your health in a Mino at the beginning and you manage to survive and get your heals off, that maybe the next time you show up and try to shoot at something, you wouldn't just sit there full broadside. Clearly, he didn't get the memo. But we hit the Schroeder again, and this time, of course, we leave him with just enough to get away. Now, we have been shooting a lot of planes down already. We are up to 13 planes shot down so far. Make that 14. As the friendly battleship up here has been getting kind of yeeted, and then the carrier has been kind of flying through him and then shooting at us, or like dropping on us, which is fine because you got the Conqueror has defensive AA, and then we've got all the fantastic AA of a Montana. So between the two of us, like, that carrier's struggling to get his drops, like, significant damage out of his drops. But that being said, I am trying to get up here. The Conqueror has been struggling. I know if I can get him a heal, or get him, like, if I can keep him alive, he could probably get a heal, get some of that back. I've got to be careful. There is a Montana shooting at my broadside right now, which could have ended poorly, but I was really hoping that he wouldn't. I was really hoping that he was paying attention to something else, but if you notice, there's really nothing else for him to shoot at other than me. The Delaware's already dead on our side. The Conqueror is getting beat up on now by the enemy carrier. And now we come around the corner, and this is where we go through the cheek of the Yama. Probably aimed a little too far forward here, but I had to try to get multiple citadels, and we do manage to get multiple citadels, hitting him for 2 citadels and leaving him alive. The Montana has, of course, put himself in position to shoot us, so we got to be careful here. But we've got a potential... We know we're going to beat the Yama's reload, which is absurd to think about with the Montana. Like, Yama's reload used to be something that I feared, but now I don't even have to worry about it. And then, of course, the HE from the Conqueror takes a good chunk off of the Yama, and our beating his reload just finishes him off. 125,000 damage. We got 16 planes shot down, and we're trying to save the Conqueror. Conqueror not paying attention to the mini-map, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but he's not paying attention to the mini-map. Pulls out broadside in front of the enemy Montana that's been putting himself in a position. He gets taken out. He actually sent me a message after the fact saying thank you for the help on the Yamato. I didn't see the Montana. It's something we all do. Like, we all get tunnel vision from time to time. Don't get to see it. You guys saw a match the other day where I showcased me getting tunnel vision and getting blasted for it. It happens, right? But we are now firmly into a problem. Now, you'll notice the enemy destroyer was spotted momentarily coming into Charlie, right? So we're not going to get this. It is obviously a match where we are going to be hunted by the destroyer. There's no doubt about it. Dude is on his way. So we're going to go ahead and use the iceberg to stop our momentum. We're going to get this ship turned around and head back towards our teammate. We have a destroyer close by. It is the Elbing. So we are going to try to put ourselves in a position to shoot the enemy Schroeder, but also get away from the enemy Sumner that's trying to kill us. But we haven't had a lot of damage in this one. Really haven't had a lot of like high health opponents. We had a couple of people we got to shoot at, but look at the freaking just devastation of the enemy carrier. I'm assuming he dropped fighters there, judging by how quickly the guy lost all of his planes. But yeah, assuming he dropped fighters, we're going to go ahead and put out the double fire as the Schroeder should go down here. Unfortunately, Schroeder does not go down, which is a real problem for me because I just used my damage control hoping that that was going to be the case. Now, we do have our engine boost. This is the final one for us. So we're going to get out of the way. We take a shot at the Schroeder. Once again, this is guaranteed kill. No way that I screw this one up, right? And we get fortunate enough to not be set on fire. Now, enemy Montana went down. And so that just leaves me versus the carrier and the enemy destroyer. Now, you can see I am asking for this Elbing to, like, come over here. I need some support. But Elbing is... I don't know what the Elbing is doing, I'll be real honest. I don't. I don't know what he's doing. But we knew that the enemy destroyer was nearby, and we get our clear sky. Again, I think he drops fighters here, because we just shredded his entire, like, planes, like every one of them. But that gives us 45 plus 2, so we're at 46 planes shot down currently. We've got to be getting at least some sort of an impact on this man's planes. Clear skies nowadays are very few and far between for me anyway. Even with my American battleships with good AA, like the fact that they doubled the amount of required for a clear sky is absurd to me. But we haven't done a lot of damage up to this point. We've done everything we had to do on our side of the map, everything we could do on our side of the map. We've blapped people, showcasing the strength of this thing, showcased the weakness of this thing. But we've also got the Sumner who's pushing us, and this is where I'm saying the turret traverse is actually a little bit of a problem. However, I mean, he still just charges straight into this, and we just destroy him. Of course, only landed 8 out of 12, so we left him alive, of course, in true Spartan fashion. Gotta leave him with just enough. We do end up taking another double fire from the enemy carrier. The destroyer is going to come around the corner, and look how long it takes these secondaries to fire. The Elbing ends up shooting straight through the bow of him and killing him. But we try, right? We're up to 51 planes shot down. And we are now putting ourselves in a position. You can see the carrier was clearly starting to turn around. So we're going to try to put ourselves in a position to counter the carrier, get a good shot off. Again, we know that at this point we have pretty much a maxed out accuracy for what we have anyway. So if we can put ourselves in a good position, should be able to get a pretty solid shot off at this carrier. We know, like I said, last known the carrier was right off the bow of our ship and was headed back towards the other side. We are going to get the base cap, the assist cap there, so we get a little bit extra bonus XP for that. With that, combined with all the planes that we've been shooting, should lead to a pretty solid outcome, right? Even if we don't get the highest damage ever. And you guys already know what I've been averaging in this ship. So in 2 games, we've been averaging 180,000 damage. And so it'd be a shame if the carrier were to, I don't know, put himself in a position for us to shoot. But he does get 1 drop away, which is 2 torpedoes. We take our shot, aiming just above the waterline. He gets a flood with 1 of the 2 torpedoes, which is just RNG saying go to yourself. And then we immediately damage con that, take 2/3 of his health. Yeah, this ship's terrible. Nobody should ever play this ship. Like, it's a terrible ship. But Midway goes down. We shoot down another plane just to spite the carrier. But when you guys see the XP at the end of this, you'll know why that I chose this one. 180,000 damage, clear sky, high caliber, top of the leaderboard. 2 kills, 4,000 base XP. My second of all time Battleship XP in 1 game. We've played 2 games in this thing. So imagine what's going to happen later on as I get more and more games under my belt in this thing. I can't wait to get a full game full of just absolute broadsides. This thing's going to have a damage record that's probably 400,000 if I had to guess. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you excited for this? Are you like fearing it? The Montana, everybody calls it the worst legendary battleship, even though, let's be honest, they're all on crack. The Montana's a fantastic ship, and this thing is even spicier. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.